Alright, today I got this French pistol lock, model 1822 I think, but I had to do some restoration work on it, which included I had to make a new sear for it. So I had to forge one out, file it, and I'll have to heat treat it in a little bit, and I'll show you how to do that. But the other problem I've got now is that the sear spring needs to be opened up a little bit to give good tension on it. It's a little bit weak. So what the video I'm going to show you today is how to open up a sear spring like this. You can do it with a frizzen spring too. We're going to open it up just a little bit and then reheat treat it. Alright, so hang on. We're going to start that right now. Alright, so what you're going to need to do this is, of course, propane torch. I've got a can here that's got some lightweight oil in it. Cooking oil works fine. You know, lightweight motor oil, used motor oil, whatever you got laying around is fine. I've got a pair of needle nose pliers, one for holding and one for doing the actual opening. And I've got some emery cloth or emery paper wrapped around this file here, because once we harden it, we're going to have to polish it again so that we can temper it, and tempering will be bringing it to a certain color, which is a temperature judged by the color the metal reaches. So let's get started. Hang on. Alright, we're going to, hopefully you've got a propane torch that you can turn on and leave on. If I can get mine to start. Alright, and we're going to heat this up until it gets a nice red color. Might be a little hard to see in this light. I'm mostly working on the bend in this bottom arm. And once I got it fairly hot, nice orange color, I'm going to open the arms up just a hair. I only needed to bring it open about a 1/16 of an inch there on the tip. Now I'm going to heat this up so I get a good uniform color. I'm not so worried about where the screw hole is. It's usually best not to have that area too hard. But the two arms I want nice and orange. And then we're going to quickly dunk this into that oil and do a rapid cooling. And you know you've done a good job when you see a gray to black, almost like the surface is shattering a little bit or changing. That way you know you got it good heat, a good quick cool. You can see that gray and black discoloration there. That's what you're looking for. And actually the surface might even flake a little bit, some of that black. You can see that on the towel there. That's what we're looking for. Now at this state it is extremely brittle. Do not try and flex it. Don't be stupid. I know too many people want to go ahead and oh this will be great. No, don't do that. We're going to have to polish the surfaces. I just polished the outside of the two leaves to a shiny color again, and then we'll heat this up slowly over the propane torch again until I reach the color that I'm looking for. In the case of a spring, it's just sort of an indigo blue color, about the color of your blue jeans when they used to be new before all the rips and tears got into them. So that's what we're looking for. Now we'll let this cool down a little bit, and then we'll polish it up and do the tempering on it. So hang on. Okay, I got this all just polished up just enough. I don't polish the inside of the spring. It's too hard to get to for one thing, and you really don't need it just to watch the colors change. but you can see it's bright and somewhat shiny now. So we're going to slowly heat this up now with the torch, and we'll watch the colors change as it does. You don't want the heat too close. You want to heat this up slowly, and I work the bend area, because that's going to be the crucial part. And you can see it's changing already. It's getting sort of a straw color. Work the areas that aren't changing quite as fast. You can see that iridescent blue getting in there now. So I'm going to stop there. And you can see that it's turned that nice blue you'd see on a spring, and we just let it air cool at this point. And then I'll give it a quick test, which is done by feel basically. What I'm going to do is just use the other pair of pliers I had and just give it a slight flex. You don't want to flex it too much while it's still hot. But this gives me an idea of how far it's gotten. You can see it's flexing up pretty good right now. And remember, a Sear spring doesn't need to flex a lot. You're only talking, less than 1/8 of an inch total flex. And this actually feels pretty good. So I'm going to let that continue air cooling, and then we'll install it in the lock and give it a quick test. So hang on for that. Alright, I got it all finished up. Mount it back in the lock. And it's a little stiff, but that's typical for military guns. So now it locks in nice and sure. Holds it in place. So now I just got to heat treat the Sear. And since this is made out of wrought iron, it's one I forged a number of years ago, I'll have to use case knit and case harden it. And I'll only case harden basically the pivot hole and the nose. I like to leave the back end soft in case I need to bend it or tweak it or file it a little bit. This one's pretty good right now, but there's no reason to do the back of it. Let's put it that way. Alright, I'm going to case harden the Sear on this gun now. And it's not terribly difficult. I got some case knit here, which is impossible to find because it's no longer being made. There's some stuff out now that's called cherry red, I think it is. That's a really good substitute. I actually have a 5-pound can of this stuff, so I got plenty to last me the rest of my life, and it works really good. And it's pretty simple to use too. I've got a can of water here, just room temperature, that after I heat this, I'll dip it in here, let it bake on for a while. Do that a couple of 3 times. The longer you leave the heat on, the deeper the case will go on the part. And when you've got it where you think you want it, you simply quench it in the water. And at that point you're done. You don't need to draw temper back or anything like that, because the internal portion of this part is still going to be soft, just the surface will be hard. So make sure you got all your surfaces polished, of course. Your nose is polished, shaped to the correct angle, because you're not going to be able to change it much unless you use a stone on it, and that takes so much more time. Right now I've got it filed. I didn't worry too much about polishing surfaces that aren't going to be bearing on anything, because there's no real reason to, especially in a gun this old. It won't really be fired. So let me go ahead and do this now, and you get to watch how it's being done. Alright? So first thing we're going to do is light the torch. Alright, I'm going to bring this up to heat first. Get it to a dull red color. Dip it in. Probably would have made more sense not to put this in a plastic container. See how it's clumping on there now, adhering to what's already been on there. It's probably best to do this over a non-flammable surface, kind of like what I'm doing. I'm an idiot, but you know, follow my instructions only if you're as stupid as I am. We're baking. Dip it again. And there's a big clump on there. Now remember, the hottest part of your flame is out towards the tip. Looks like a satellite re-entering Earth's atmosphere, doesn't it? Got it pretty good right now. I don't want it too deep a paste on this, because that just leads to breaking at the tip. And something like a prison paste, I'll let this cook for about 10 minutes to get a nice deep paste on it. Now, the reason you're doing this on this part is because, like I said before, this is wrought iron, one I forged a number of years ago, and there's absolutely no carbon in it, and the carbon is the magic property that makes steel, and the more carbon, of course, the harder the steel can be tempered to. But adding this paste to it will impart carbon into the surface. I think we're done, and that's exactly what's going to happen. It'll scare the hell out of you. But there we go. Nice gray color, which is what I was looking for. And what we'll do is I'll take a file, and it just skates over the surface now. It doesn't cut at all. You know, it's just taking off that gray scale is all it's doing, but it's not cut. And that's exactly what I was looking for. Now, if you want to be cautious, you know, you can always draw this back to a straw color or a very pale blue. Yeah, I got the napkin on fire here. Let's just put that out first. And probably wouldn't be bad to draw back that tip, because this is pretty hard right now. I baked it pretty good long time. So let me just draw that back just a little bit. I've got the bottom side polished so I can watch the colors, And it's just going to take just a moment to heat that tip up. Again, you want to just use real slow heat. Watching for the colors. Take your time. If you get it too soft, you can always retemper it, or reharden it, Alright, I think that's pretty much done. I can see there's a straw color in there, and the very tip is turned blue, and that'd be fine. And we'll just let it air cool. And then it'll be ready to go back on the gun. I'll polish it a little bit, make sure everything slides and slips easy. But that's pretty much it. Not terribly difficult.